Good morning, Manna Church. It's great to be with you again for another week of Morning Manna. Over the next 6 days, we're going to be talking about how to have answered prayers. Who doesn't want to have their prayers answered? I know I do. Unfortunately, God has revealed to us in His Word His guidelines on praying effectively. This is going to be very practical, but keep in mind, God is not a formula. It's not about saying the magic words in the exact right ways for Him to dispense whatever it is that we want. Instead, this is all going to be rooted in principle based on who He is and what He intends for us. I cannot guarantee your prayers to be perfectly answered after you watch these, but if you absorb these things in your heart and pray accordingly to what Scripture says, then you are well on your way to seeing answered prayer. Let's start today with an essential aspect of prayer, which is to ask. James 4:2 says, "You do not have because you do not ask." Maybe this seems obvious to you, that you actually need to come to God and ask in order to receive. But what I've discovered is that we can sometimes conflate thinking about the problem we want solved and actually asking God to get involved. There is a difference. You can even engage God by dumping to Him all the details about what's going on or talking about the things that you lack, and you can still omit asking Him for what you need. In fact, I know I've been super guilty of this plenty of times, and it amazes me that I have gone even weeks of discussing these things with God without ever asking Him for His provision. It's simple, but it's very important. You have not because you ask not. Sometimes we simply might forget to just go to God and ask Him for the help that we need. And there's so many other aspects that I'm going to talk about that's going to complement this process, but it really does begin by seeking God. The verse continues in verse 3. It says, "You ask and you do not receive because you ask wrongly to spend it on your passions." Sometimes our prayers aren't answered because we are asking for the wrong things. Even if it may seem right to us, if there's a selfish motive underpinning the ask, that is the wrong way to approach God. The Bible's not saying you can't ask for good things in your life, but some of what we want can derail us if it's coming from the wrong place. So how do we move forward from here? To give you a quick key, humility goes a long way with God. How you approach God and the heart that you have in asking really does matter. But even more than that, our ask needs to be aligned with the will of God. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but for now, consider these things as you go to God in prayer. I'll see you soon.